In a world where the marks think they know better than the wrestlers and the bookers, the Fantasy Booking Institute exists to pretty much do exactly that. This is a visit from the FBI. Welcome to another visit from the FBI, your weekly dose of pro wrestling fantasy booking. I am your host, Detective Mark Smarks, and I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime fighting, District Attorney Vincent K. What's going on, man? How are you?
It's up.
It's up.
It's up.
It's up.
It's up.
Ah!
I'm talking about my blue screen that doesn't work because I don't have proper lighting. And the vignette is up.
And the vignette shirt is up. That's also up.
It's all about the vignette.
Vignette, baby.
I really wanted to open, but since you're opening with that, I really wanted to open with "All right, Order Jerry."
Are you ready?
No, I was going to go with "Don't you dare be sour." Clap.
I am actually angry right now because JLB is supposed to be on the. Oh, there he is. There he is. Takes his sweet ass time. Sweet ass time showing up. Yeah. There he is.
There he is. Oh. Beard love down below me. Beard love. Beard love.
No, beard love. You're like in the middle now. You're the bologna sandwich, good sir. Just where you like to be.
I always like to be in the green room. You guys' coffee.
Oh.
Ooh, I got to turn on my echo cancellation.
Oh, there's something. You sound like you're echo.
Wow.
Well, now it's probably worse.
Yes, it's actually worse.
Yep, it is worse.
How about now?
About the same. I'm getting some echo of me though.
Yeah.
Is that me?
I think it's probably
JLB again. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right.
When I'm down in the studio, I thought it might be me.
No, but you're reverbing though.
Well,
Well, that's something that's gonna take some adjusting off camera, sort of a thing. But
yeah.
Cool. So we were just talking about how you now have your face on a shirt.
Hey.
But you weren't here for the start of the show, so.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
Who has his face on a shirt?
Oh, so sexy.
Who?
Who?
JLB does. Who? JLB.
But I won't be a transitional person who's gonna have his face on a shirt, unlike Big E. No, too soon.
Not transitional.
So gonna be transitional. I hope he's not. I just don't. To me and WWE, we have trust issues. It's like that.
Oh no, I 100%.
Almost like you missed Sunday night.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and get rid of that for now and go back to this screen. So yeah, no, I don't think he's going to be transitional for this reason. Reports have it their original plan was for him to win the belt after the draft in October.
Okay.
In fact, maybe during the draft, and that would be the big thing of him getting drafted over to Raw. And they pushed it up for reasons that totally have absolutely nothing to do with the fact that AEW beat them in the demo last week. Nothing at all. No.
Nope.
No, definitely not.
They're not competition. It's not that.
100% not. But so I think that their plan was for him to be champion for at least a few months.
Transitional.
No. Transitional means you win it and in 2 weeks you lose it to someone else. That your whole reason for getting it was so someone else didn't have to take the pin. So someone doesn't look weak. And so for this, I think Bobby Lashley is probably needing some time off to recuperate because he's been going nonstop for better part of a year.
Mm-hmm.
And been champion for what? 6 months now?
6 months. 8 months.
What was it? And so give him a little bit of time off and let him recuperate a bit. But I think he's going to be a defending champion. He's going to have multiple defenses. He is the first black champion to have won from another black person.
Is he? Oh, snap.
Well, I mean, other than Bianca from Sasha.
Oh, right.
Black WWE champion.
Black male champion.
Semantics.
Yeah.
No, he just means like the Raw title, not the SmackDown.
Uh-huh.
I still get those confused. I don't even care. I'm just like the Raw champion, SmackDown champion. Don't
Well,
give me this world and Universal.
In fairness, it is stupid. Just because fucking one
makes one Universal and one the world. So
Yeah.
technically, the Universal one is better than the world.
But
Well,
why have a
one-
world champion if one's universal?
One is the champion of the universe. The other is the champion of the WWE. So technically, the WWE Championship might be stronger organizationally than the World Championship. I really should have worn a hat.
Than the Universal Champion? No, because one's the champion of the universe. That's why Miss World is lower than Miss Universe.
I don't think it's fair that Miss Universe and Mr. Universe, that those are not competed with other planets.
It's a fair point. You know, you could also point out that the world champion of American football doesn't exactly face off with anyone else in the world.
Yeah. Where's the Egyptian Super Bowl?
Exactly. I mean, at least we used to have NFL Europe. And
yeah, then you could have had that crap ass team from Frankfurt play the Patriots, get slaughtered.
And then you really see they're the world champion because they beat the team from another country.
Hey.
Yeah, there's not even one in Canada.
Yeah. Used to be.
We just got the CFL, guys. Leave us alone.
Okay, so give us your CFL.
Yeah, send us one of those. Send us the.
Champion.
I couldn't even. I'm not a CFL guy at all.
Calgary poop sticks or whatever, you know.
Oh, I feel like the Argonauts win a lot. I don't know. Alouettes are obviously a big team.
It's Huguenots.
It's Argonauts, no?
I don't know. I'm making. That
I don't know. I mean, I don't watch at all. I know enough people who do, and I'm like, cool story. But
there's
between the rule changes and whatever, I'm just like, I don't care enough.
There's the Argonauts.
Yeah, there's like 8 teams.
The Edmonton Elks.
Yep.
God, that's a fucking dumb. The BC Lions, the Calgary Stampeders, the Saskatchewan Roughriders,
the
Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the Montreal Alouettes, the
Owlettes, like tiny owls, or
no Alouettes, Alouette, Alouette, just the blue. There's the Ottawa.
What is an owlet in English, please? JLB.
It kind of just means.
I think it's a name, technically.
Owlet.
It's technically a name, I guess, but yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean anything per se. It's more just a name.
Ottawa actually gets 2 teams. There's the Ottawa Rough Riders and the Ottawa Renegades.
One of them must be in Toronto, and the other's where?
According to Google, it's technically a lark. It's technically a lark.
A lark.
Which is a singing bird. Which I feel.
Yeah, the funny thing is, oh wait, never mind. Ottawa Rough Riders changed their name to the Renegades.
Yeah, one job.
Yeah, know your Canadian football.
Yeah. God darn it, America! Want to know everything, but you know nothing Canadian. How dare you?
Yeah, how dare I? The Hamilton Tiger Cats.
I think we need to do a so just because
a wrestling podcast.
A wrestling podcast. But just because we do like to occasionally throw in some pop culture stuff or politics. I'd like to have a recall
culture or politics.
Well, they're both always in the news. Like
welcome to pop culture politics. Are you ready?
That is
nothing
America,
but Trump.
Bud. Am I wrong about this, Smarks? Is that America?
Sounds
Pop
about
culture
right.
politics.
Yeah, pretty much.
We voted. One of our presidents that we voted in was literally a reality TV star.
Another one was an actor.
Yeah. I mean, he'd been a governor. That one at least had done some politics.
And in fairness, I'm relatively certain that if the rules allowed it, we would have voted in another actor if Arnold Schwarzenegger had been allowed to run.
That's legit.
Because
So anyway,
he's famous.
I think we need to have a recall vote for VKM.
We need to recall him.
That's a great shirt. Recall VKM. People would buy it and be like, I don't even know who VKM is, but I'm gonna buy this shirt.
But so before we get into talking fantasy booking, first I always take this time to remind people that we're part of the Tatnus Co podcast network. So in the little doobly doos down below, you can click on the link for tatnusco.com and you can head over there, see the other shows on the network, tell them we sent you.
Yeah.
There's also in the doobly doos links to our merch store, so you can go and get that Vignette shirt, or the Sasha Bear shirt, which is up and running.
It's still
right
up. Goddamn.
Yeah, I got mine on the way. So I mean, we've sold at least one.
But he wants to be Sasha.
I think I'm gonna get that mug. I still didn't buy that mug yet. I'm waiting still for the other shirt though. Whatever. I guess I just buy.
But
What'd you say?
Bye.
Anyways,
so you want to start a fight, right? That's it.
But before we really get into the fantasy booking, though, I want to take some time to bitch, or at least retract a statement that I said on the WBU just 2 days ago, where I gave WWE credit and praise for their name that they had chosen for the young Bronson Rick Steiner, son of Rick Steiner. And they're like, oh, he's going to go under the name Rex Steiner. That's a fucking cool name. It's perfect. It shows his heritage. He's one of that family, all of that stuff. Everything's great. And then what do they fucking do tonight? Change it again right before he goes up.
What was it, like Ben Breaker or something?
Braun Breaker. Braun short for Bronson. So Bron. Breaker with 2 Ks. Braun Breaker.
Hey, he's in the title. He's in the title picture now, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're gonna push him right away. He's exactly what they're wanting with this whole rebrand. He's young. He's
Me?
he's not you.
Mm-hmm.
He's young. He's jacked as hell. Yes, he's got some experience, but at the same point, he doesn't have like a ton of experience because he was a football player, linebacker, I think.
That makes sense.
Is what he played. And so instead of going after the independent wrestler, they went after a guy with a lot of the look that they wanted, and they say we can teach him to be a good wrestler. Now he's got a head start because he's got a father who is a legendary wrestler, and an uncle who's a legendary wrestler. Yeah, Hall of Famer.
Not quite a math whiz, but we all can't be.
Math works out, dude. It actually works out.
We're not doing.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, the actual math in that works out. He's got the numbers in the end add up to what he says.
Don't work, but
it's the logic. He's not a logician. He's a fucking
math teacher would still fail him. None of this work is right. I don't care how you got to the answer.
He was a fullback for the Baltimore Ravens, although he didn't, I think, play a regular season snap. So, okay, take that with a grain of salt.
Could you be a member of NXT? The 5-question quiz. Put a finger down if you're not jacked as fuck. Put a finger down if you're over the age of 25. Put a finger down. I can't come up with all of them right now. Here, you do 2 of them. What are they?
Put a finger down if your father or other family member is a Hall of Famer, or isn't a Hall of
Isn't
Famer,
a
I
Hall
should
of
say.
Famer,
Yeah, okay.
Put a finger down if you've never paid attention to wrestling in your life.
Put a finger down if you're under 6 feet.
If you're,
yeah, okay. He gets to hold up one finger there. So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah.
But so here's the deal: is on WBU, I gave I went off on WWE for missing an absolute fucking layup with the Zelina Vega match that they pulled off of SmackDown. Zelina Vega, who it's well known lost her father on 9/11, and she had planned on the 20th anniversary. There was going to be a show the night before. She wanted to wrestle in Madison Square Garden, which her and her father used to go to Madison Square Garden to watch wrestling matches, watch shows. And she wanted to wrestle in it. She had a whole custom uniform, ring gear made up to honor him, all of this stuff. And they pulled it last minute. And I ripped into them. But the one thing I gave them credit for is that they chose a good name for Rick Steiner's son, and then they fucking decide not to. So I'm taking it back.
They hear your podcast. They must hear our podcast then, because any moment that we give good kudos to Vince or WWE, I swear to you, Vince is like, "Oh no, they like it? No,
Fucking like it.
It's not."
Got to change that. That's not good S word.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So,
well, I mean, I guess thank God I wasn't at the WBU, because then I would have been trumped in terms of picking out a crime, because that was my biggest pet peeve on what they did to Zelina Vega. So yeah, I would have definitely been in agreement with you there.
Oh, there was so much. I was figuring your number one thing was going to be the 2-hour long fucking
tag turmoil
match.
Yeah, I mean, then
we talked about that too.
Yeah,
but in the end, I gave them a little bit of credit, because that this was a layup that they hit, and then they didn't. It's like this literally was going through the net, and then somehow or another they jumped up, reached up, and grabbed their own ball and pulled it out and said, nope.
Especially when there was a lot of crap on SmackDown. Like I rewatched SmackDown and I was like, wow, you could have put the Zelina Vega match here instead of having that player who beat the Brooklyn Nets. I don't even know his name. That whole Sammy match. Could have just scrapped it and put the Zelina match. You know what I mean? Just there wasn't anything. The only thing you can't replace it with was the whole Roman Brock thing. That was fire. Everything else, you know.
But I thought
SmackDown was good.
The SmackDown itself was fine. It's just it literally everything could have been shortened by 2 minutes to give 6 minutes of time to Zelina Vega.
I think the biggest place where they wasted their time was on that 10-man tag, and I said that Sunday. I could have done without the match altogether, and certainly without your boy Sammy coming out and, hey, look, I have a guy from the Atlanta Hawks.
It was just a pointless match, and then I'm like, to have that amount of significance of, you know, her father dying on September 11th, her having ring gear, then just scrapping it, biggest slap in the face. And then I'm like, Zelina, now this is where you probably shouldn't have re-signed. Like,
here's the deal, Zelina, if you're listening, just go start your Twitch channel up again.
Yeah. I'll fire you.
Just start doing it, and they'll get past it eventually.
For 90 days, but
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but I feel like now it's within a contract, though, I think. So if she does, she might get sued. That's the only thing.
She can get sued and fired either way. Here's the deal. WWE doesn't want that to go to court, because if it goes to court, they have to prove to the court that there's a reason that they have these independent contractors with clauses in their contracts that allow them to not do independent work. WWE doesn't want that to go to court.
Correct.
Because if that goes to court, if that goes to court,
they're not taking her to court. They're just going to fire her.
Yeah, they'll just fire her for breach of contract. They'll just say, "Boom,
go do it."
And that's my thing. Because again, they don't want it to go to court because they don't want it tested legally. Right now, they get away with it because no one has challenged it legally.
Because it's pricey.
Because it's pricey, it's expensive. But if it goes to court over whatever reason, then they have to suffer the consequences of a judge actually looking and saying, wait a second, these people are independent contractors, but they can't work any other dates they can't make money on their own.
I do feel like there's a thing with that though.
No, there literally is not. There was an entire John Oliver segment on it like 2 years ago where he went in and he talked about all of the reasons that it's probably illegal. Because the simple fact
you sign for it on paper, then
it doesn't matter. The legal definition of independent contractor means that you only control them when they're actually on the clock for you, right? When they're not on the clock. See, here's the deal, right? You hire an independent contractor to come and build a roof for your house. You don't get to tell them that they also can't build the roof for your neighbor's house, right?
Right.
They can't do it while they're on your dime, right? But in their off time, if they want to clock out with you at the end of the day and go over and work on a neighbor's house, fixing their roof or whatever, they're free to do that. If they want to sell t-shirts on their own dime that say their real name on it, you can't stop them from doing that. And if they want to have a Twitch stream on their own time, you can't stop them because they're an independent contractor. Your purview ends when they clock out, right? That's the legal definition of independent contractor.
Yeah.
And there's a reason behind it. There's a lot of reasons, and a lot of reasons WWE likes the idea of them being independent contractors. Independent contractors don't have to be provided insurance. They don't have to be provided any sort of benefits because they're not officially employees, right?
Right.
They're a hired contractor. And so they don't have to do insurance. They don't have to do benefits. They don't have to do 401k or pension or anything like that. They don't have to give severance pay or any of that shit. They don't have to guarantee a certain amount of hours each week or anything because they're not an employee. They're hired to do a job, right? And as long as they do that job, fine. You can put whatever you want to in the contract, and in court it won't hold up because they'll say, hey, these are independent contractors. You can't control what they're going to do on their time off. But again, WWE doesn't want to go to court because they literally will lose if it goes to court, and they'll lose the ability to call them independent contractors. They'll have to call them employees. It's like if you drive for Uber, right? You're an independent contractor driving for Uber. You can also drive for Lyft as long as you're only doing one at a time. Right. So,
meaning if you pick up an Uber ride, you cannot go and pick up a Lyft ride at the same time.
Exactly.
You can complete the Uber ride and move on to a Lyft
and then
ride.
Choose a Lyft ride for the next one. Exactly. But you can't do them both at the same time, right? You can't be an Uber driver and a DoorDash driver at the same, like pick up your Uber and say, oh, by the way, we're going to swing by this McDonald's to pick up a DoorDash for a customer. You can't do that. While you're doing the job for Uber, you do the job for Uber. And then afterwards, you can pick up the DoorDash if you need to. Anyways. But so WWE does not want that challenged in court. And if they took someone to court over starting up a Twitch stream, even if it's now there's also reasons to say it wasn't in their contract. Now it might be in her contract now, her new contract, but it wouldn't have been in her original contract, which they threatened to fire her for and theoretically did fire her for. Because she wouldn't quit things. And so you can't add something to someone's contract without them reading it and signing off on the change, right? So anyways, But we will get into the fantasy booking. If you are new to the fantasy booking show, the rules are really simple, concept simple. We're going to take turns challenging the other people to do some unknown and often unlikely scenario in the world of professional wrestling. We don't discuss them in advance because we think it's more fun to put people on the spot and have them go, shit, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, sounds about JLB. Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, as always, I open it up to the field. Who wants to go first? Well, I'm guessing that means DA Fabe does not want to go first. So, I guess JLB doesn't want to go first. So I guess.
Jesus. Really?
Well, then for that, I'm going to make DA Fabe go first. So
I mean, if I go right now, the only thing that's on my mind is something I challenged you guys to last week, and so
okay,
it would just be a spin on that.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and go first, challenging you guys. This is just something I was thinking about a little earlier, so it's nothing really big. But they over the weekend, of course, the big news out of NXT was Samoa Joe vacating the title due to undisclosed injury, which I'm 99% certain was just, hey, we want to start off our time on NXT 2.0 with a new champion. And so they ended up, I thought they were going to have a tournament, but they just turned the number one contenders battle into a championship battle. And spoiler alert to anyone who is watching this or listening to this without having watched NXT, the winner was Tommaso Ciampa, all right, which surprised me, actually, because I was 99% certain, at least 90% certain it was going to be LA Knight. Going
especially after him losing to Rick Steiner's son.
Well, before losing to Rick Steiner's son. But then I read news that Pete Dunne had signed a 3-year contract extension. And I was like, ooh. So that put me like maybe 50-50 on LA Knight or Pete Dunne. So I would have been wrong either way. But one thing was certain to me is it was not going to be Kyle O'Reilly. Because Kyle O'Reilly kind of epitomizes the things that Vince McMahon thinks is wrong with NXT, right?
Yeah, but so does Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah.
I guess we can give him that he's stacked. He is stacked.
He is jacked. He's at least a former champion. So he's got at least a pedigree behind him that Kyle O'Reilly doesn't have. You know, Kyle O'Reilly in Vince McMahon's mind has never proven himself to be able to win the big match.
Yeah, I mean, he was just Adam Cole's bitch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You wrote him as Adam Cole's bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but he didn't beat Finn Balor. You wrote him to not beat Finn Balor. What are you doing here? Are you working yourself? Is that what this is?
This is not MMA.
This is
MMA.
So my challenges to you guys is, how would you have handled it differently? Going into, and you're still doing the NXT 2.0. It's the NXT concept and all of that stuff is still going to be the same. You still have Samoa Joe vacate the title, but in terms of getting a new champion, would you have still done the 4-way match as the thing? Would you have put different people in it? Would you have had a different winner? Would you have done a tournament? I'm leaving it up to you, but how would you have done the NXT title differently in NXT 2.0 this week?
So I'm still stuck with the 4-way existing.
Yes,
no,
it doesn't have to be for the title. It can be. It can be just for number one contenders. Samoa Joe still vacates though.
Okay. I'll let you go first while I think about it.
Fair. Well, since there was a lot of uselessness on NXT's premiere 2.0 show today, I think you have the Fatal 4-Way match start the show, and the winner of that faces Joe that night. Is how I think
Joe's
you do
injured,
it.
though.
Yeah. Ultimately.
Oh, are we okay? So Joe's injured. It's vacated. Okay.
It's vacated. It's still vacated. Just how would you?
And we still have that Fatal 4-Way going for the number one contender.
Yeah, that was previously announced.
Yeah.
Okay. Jesus. I mean, Well, I don't think there's another way you can do it then if you're going to still have that number one contendership match there. To be honest with you, what's the point of having the number one contendership match if you're going to have to find yourself, a new champion anyways? That's the whole point of the number one contender. You guys are going to be going on a Fatal 4-Way. You're all fit to go for the belt. I don't really know how.
In fairness, you could say the number one contender is now going to get a first round bye in the new tournament for the championship, or going to get an advantage. I mean, this is professional wrestling. You can do whatever the fuck you want, right?
That's fair.
And so you could have had the 4-way match end in a total schmoz. No one wins, and then set up a tournament, or you could have done the heel authority figure where VKM does his strut out to the ring and says, "I declare so-and-so the new champion," and then everyone goes boo, and suddenly you've got a monster heel. I mean, there's all sorts of things you could do, but this is why I want to hear what you would do.
Okay, so if we're going to do it that way, you still have the Fatal 4-Way for the thing start off at the beginning for the number one contendership. However, now that number one contendership, the winner who wins that Fatal 4-Way match is essentially now going to have to do like a gauntlet, if you will, of former NXT champions. Sort of. So like this, it kind of closes out the old NXT by just bringing everybody in to see them for one last time sort of ordeal, since everything was taped. This is now live, correct? So you kind of bring it into like a gauntlet sort of ordeal, which lasts you the entire show. If the Tag Team Turmoil can do that, and that was a piece of crap, having former NXT superstars actually come into play and face off against whoever is going to end up battling. You have basically your top-rated NXT superstars be the people that come out. Now, I don't have that list in front of me, but I imagine Finn Balor is on that list. Because this technically, it could be really like, it could be former NXT superstars that aren't there, but they're still going to get that final last little hurrah. Because this is more of a closing of the old NXT completely. I still think you're going to do whoever won the number one contendership to end up beating everybody, to showcase that this guy is the ultimate superstar and he should be the champion, out with the old, meaning the old NXT champions, in with the new. But that's why I think you also have to have someone who necessarily hasn't won it before, like the Kyle O'Reilly. I don't know that new guy's name, but he looked good. Maybe it could have been him. Or Ciampa's already been, but he's kind of... Yeah, I really think it's a big mistake making Ciampa the first 2.0 championship champion. It just, I love that he's champion, just wrong time to do it. I don't care with this 2.0. I'm sure he doesn't necessarily give a shit. It's not what I feel he would like to represent as an NXT champion. But that's how I think you do it. And you have like a new guy win it, or who has never won it. You have Kyle O'Reilly or that new guy as part of it. And you make it kind of a gauntlet for the entire thing of the show. This way it gives you a little bit of old school. I'm going to probably get the list actually of the top 10, or unless you randomly Googled it.
I did not.
I guess not. Okay. NXT top 10. So yeah, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens. They have Bo Dallas on. When the hell was Bo Dallas an NXT champion?
Before he was on the main roster.
Yeah, he was the Bo Leave. He was.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Before and main roster ruined him.
Snap. Okay. Damn, you can't even have a lot of these people. Andrade, not there. Aleister Black, not there. Neville, not there. Bo Dallas, fired. Shinsuke Nakamura. I guess that would be kind of cool to see him there. Samoa Joe, injured. KO comes. That would be kind of cool. Tommaso Ciampa, he's in the Fatal 4-Way. Finn Balor. So you definitely have, you could have at least, you know, like, you can't have Adam Cole. Damn, so many stars have gone. Johnny Gargano was a champion, no?
Yeah.
You know, you could throw him in there. And it could easily maybe even, so it's not takes up the whole show. Like Raw almost did it for 3 hours. But if you want to like at least showcase some of your other younger talent too, you could maybe at least have it an hour, but an hour legit starting from Fatal 4-Way. Boom. Okay. And he doesn't get out of the ring. So let's say it's the new guy from NXT that was put in that match. He doesn't get out of the ring. The fighter comes. And I think showcasing the legendary champions, like having the KO, having Shinsuke, having Finn, is kind of crazy for the new guy to beat. But at the end of the day, it's not going to do anything to torment their legacy sort of ordeal. So I think that would kind of be a fun way to end off what the old NXT era was and how the NXT 2.0 era is going to begin. It's the better version of NXT, kind of thing. I think that would be kind of fun. You don't have a bunch of new guys in there. I get it. It's the developmental and so on, but that's why you ultimately have the NXT 2.0 now. All these guys are going to eventually get their shot and so on and so forth. And honestly, anything would have been better than the shit show that NXT 2.0 is today. I felt they were just everywhere. Like they did not know what they were doing. And to end it off with a wedding?
My commentary on it, and I haven't been able to watch all of it because of the stuff, but the stuff that I did watch, to be perfectly honest, it did what WWE wanted it to do, which is set it up as the next generation of wrestlers, not your old wrestlers, for the most part. Ciampa winning is another issue altogether. But the things, to be perfectly honest, that I think held back NXT 2.0 today were the things that were set up by previous NXT. Having the wedding, when you're trying to rebrand it as NXT 2.0, but you're continuing this weird NXT 1.0 storyline in it, felt weird, sort of a thing. But to be perfectly honest, like they came out and they made fucking
Rick Steiner's son,
Braun Rocket or whatever the fuck his name was.
Breaker.
Braun Breaker. They made him look like a fucking rock star.
They did.
That they did. And he's exactly the epitome of what they want for that. They had I'm totally blanking on Walter's group. Imperium. There you go. Imperium, they had Imperium go up against 2 no names, but they made the no names look pretty good, even though they lost. One of them being Bull Buchanan's son. Can't remember what name they gave him. They put the new guy in the main event, which was weird. To hey, by the way, we've never seen you before, but you get a spot in the Fatal 4-Way for the world title.
Why wouldn't you put Rick Steiner in there? That would Rick Steiner's son in there. That would have made the most sense. Hey, I beat LA Knight. Why aren't I in this then? Yeah. You know what I mean? Why make some random nobody?
But it was obviously all about let's set up the next generation. I mean, even when you put it like Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter, yes, they're old NXT, they're old guard NXT sort of thing, but they're also young. And especially in the case of Casey Catanzaro, she wasn't an independent wrestler beforehand. She is 100% a WWE product in terms of wrestling. She's exactly what they're looking for that. So, and they made them look really strong.
Cameron Grimes, an indie
She's
wrestler?
Really small. Yeah, she is small, but WWE doesn't care about size for women.
Oh, yeah.
God,
yeah.
Yeah. So, Cameron Grimes is still there. He was celebrating backstage with
no, but I mean, is he WWE product or was he an indie wrestler before?
Oh yeah, he was the Impact champion for a while.
Oh, okay.
He's fucking been around for a long time. Trevor Lee was his name before he came to WWE. So, anyways, we'll move on to DFA. How would you do it differently, or would you do the exact same thing? I guess.
I wouldn't. So if you're going to do a 2.0, you have to be different. And using all the old guard of champions doesn't work for a 2.0, in my humble opinion. I'm not saying that doing a 2.0 is right. I mean, if I was to choose, absolutely, I would go back 2 weeks and I wouldn't do a 2.0. That's what I would do. Karrion Kross would still be the champion and,
not wearing a mask.
Not wearing a mask. We'd have Finn Balor coming out to challenge him on a regular basis. We'd go back about 3 months anyway. But we're not going to go back 3 months, and we don't have that option. So we're doing a 2.0, and if I am William Regal, the first thing I thought of was AEW's introduction. Because it was Chris Jericho who just beat Kenny Omega for one of the title spots. And the other one was in a 20-man battle royal. 21-man battle royal.
Mm-hmm.
22 if you count Orange Cassidy. God, that was hilarious, him coming out as the 22nd person. Anyway, so I definitely would get would have that type of setup. Now, the blessing that you have in this instance is that you do have William Regal and you do have a very public edict from Vince about the size of wrestlers that he's choosing, about the age of wrestlers that he's choosing, sports entertainers, should I say. And so when that match ends with a little guy over the age of 30 winning, you can have very good heel William Regal come out and say, no. Vince did not want it to go this way. We're going to do this the right way. You are one of the contenders in the title match that's going to occur in NXT TakeOver War Games. Not in a War Games match. I like the idea of a tournament for the other contender. But I also like the idea of a battle royal. So I probably select my members via battle royal to go into a tournament. So he goes, over the next few weeks, I'm going to be personally selecting people for to fit Vince's desires or whatever it may be. My English accent's terrible.
Yeah.
You
I mean, in fairness, your American accent's pretty terrible too, but
yeah. My redneck one's not so bad though, you know.
No, your redneck is spot on. That's
yeah,
superb. It's
yeet.
Jeet yet?
Yeet.
Nah, Jew. Nah, you want to?
Yump do.
Want to.
Anyway, so I would have him personally handpick people that fit Vince's mold of the type of champion he's looking for. Lamau. Wee-oo, wee-oo, wee-oo.
Just so people know what that's referring to, because I was gonna wait until after we were done talking about this, but that tweet literally made me giggle.
So you can put it up on the screen if you want.
So,
Warhorse.
Seriously, why was there a new Steiner on TV tonight and his name was wrong and his music didn't go wee woo wee woo? I fucking love Warhorse.
She funny.
So,
anyways, so going back, so what I guess the move I make here is to have that authority figure without having to have Vince on screen, but Vince once, and you can flat out say Vince once, and hand select a plethora of people. You can have him randomly show up on Raw and be like, "Hey, I need you down at NXT for this tournament. You okay with that?" Baron Corbin's a good person to grab real quick for that. You can grab some of these mid-carders that are tall, that are big, that are muscular, that are semi-young. I know Baron Corbin only fits three out of the 5, but or 3 out of the 4. Okay, check. Yeah, I need you in this tournament. check. You're definitely in it. Check. Can't do it. And just dang near a Jericho list for a couple weeks, setting up the battle royal to choose the 8 contenders that'll be weekly. Weekly there will be a match to get into that to occur at War Games. That's how I would do it. Because if you're going to reset, you got to reset long term. It can't just happen overnight. So that's where I'd go. I didn't think of the authority figure until Smarks mentioned it. Till Smarks mentioned it. There it is.
Eventually, you'll point in the right direction.
Oh, it's going to take forever. Anyway, so I didn't think of it until Smarks thought of it. That I can do. I can still do the fingers pretty easy because I do it with the phone. So that's probably the route I would go. I do like that authority figure idea. I especially like Vince being the authority figure, but not having to be on television because we don't want to discount the fact that Vince treats this like it's only developmental and these guys aren't good enough. We want a moment where Vince maybe calls Regal and says, "Why are you taking my main roster guys? You can't do that. I need those guys up here, damn it." My Vince isn't bad.
Yeah. That's good S word.
That's good S word.
Well, that's kind of what my thought process was. Here's the deal.
But I would absolutely bastardize the idea that Tommaso Ciampa just was supposed to get it, and then he didn't get it. No, you're not the right guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, out of all the times you give it back to him,
because in the end, because here was my thought process when I mentioned that. The simple fact is, people like us, the internet wrestling marks and everything out there, we already knew what was going on behind the scenes. We knew Vince McMahon was making changes and all of that stuff. So let's exploit it. Let's take advantage of it. That the fact that the NXT fans are already angry at Vince McMahon and already thinking Vince McMahon's going to ruin our product, right? And just turn that into the storyline that Vince McMahon is ruining our product.
Yeah.
And
again, you can have him still shitting on the product by not even being there.
Mm-hmm.
No, damn it. This is not how we're going to do this.
That's what I liked the idea
that's
of
not how Vince would want it.
Of them announcing that the winner is not really the number one contender. They just get a bye in the first round of the tournament, and then put all of the other contestants in the tournament as the people that Vince McMahon handpicks. Yeah,
he'd be like the ultimate villain.
Saying it.
Well, he'd be the heel authority figure, which frankly,
that's great at.
Well, and frankly, we've mentioned on this show that I think it's one of the things that WWE as a whole is missing right now is the overarching number, like one person to be angry at, right? You know what I mean? During the best of the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era, it always was there was some sort of overarching person that you could focus your hatred on. Right, that either Stone Cold fighting against Vince McMahon, or it was
Undertaker's ministry.
Exactly. It was Shane McMahon being
out.
Yeah, Mankind for selling out to go to the corporate. It's all that and having that figure out. And I'm not necessarily saying we need to on WWE TV as a whole have the heel manager or heel general manager necessarily, but in this case for NXT it makes perfect sense to me. Just exploit the internet marks, exploit me, because
every one of us is pissed off that you're ruining our product, to make all of us good, and then have Tommaso Ciampa win it at War Games. I mean, that's 2 months out. You've got plenty of time to build that.
Or have him lose due to heel shenanigans and I mean effectively what launched the Attitude Era really? What was we can argue about and we can talk about there's this Austin 316 moment or all of that stuff, but in reality what launched the Attitude Era was the Montreal Screwjob.
Oh, I thought it was the pass out myself.
The reason I say the Montreal Screwjob is what launched it is because that's what established because we didn't have heel McMahon. We didn't have heel McMahon before that, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And he came out and he did that for his reasons and all this stuff, and whether it was real or shoot or work or whatever, we can talk back and forth all we want to about it. But in the end, that's what started the ball rolling on what became the Attitude Era, right? Yes, most people would say the official start of the Attitude Era was either Austin 316 or the Pass Out. Either way, I think
that selected. I think those two things together selected the protagonist.
Yeah.
And right, I think, and maybe that's true. I think.
Well, I guess I use the phrase "started the Attitude Era." It set the seeds for the Attitude Era. Maybe we can say it that way. It was planting the Attitude Era, and the fruit was born later, with the Pass Out, with all that stuff. But the Montreal Screwjob is what really started that ball rolling. That turned the key on the ignition to it. And the thing is. He didn't know it was starting it, right?
No.
He lucked into this thing. He didn't realize he was going to be treated as such a villain because of it, right? No. I really don't think Vince McMahon understood how much people, and yes, he did it in Montreal, and he should have expected more, hatred. But in reality, I don't think he understood how much blowback would come from it. But I think he also realized how good it was for business for there to be that heel,
Yeah,
we all hate this.
This is fun.
I do it too, but my camera's clear over there, and
so fun. Sorry,
I like looking at my computer. Okay.
Anyways,
Sorry.
So,
yeah,
okay.
I agree. And that's why I stole that when you said it. I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. And because
oh no, you see my double chin. Can't do that.
I hate to break it to you. We can see your double chin all the time. Here's the hint. You don't want people to see your double chin. You grow one of these.
Beard.
Yeah, that's valid.
because I shaved it I shaved it all down to the goatee and everything, and so you can see my double chin now. But once it gets out bigger like that, nope, you can't see the double chin. Looks like you got a chin.
That's funny.
Anyways.
So I think that's the big advantage that Regal does provide right now. Regal's been a face or a relatively hands-off general for a while, and then boom, now you have Vince has expectations, and I have to meet them. And Tommaso Ciampa, you don't fit those expectations.
Yeah. So yeah, you could even do it as a screw job where it's announced that it's going to be for the championship. Tommaso Ciampa standing there in the ring,
waiting for his title.
Or even holding it, and they come out and say, "Oh no, there was a change of plans. This wasn't for the title. This was still for the number one contender slot. So you will have to face off with the other people in the whatever." I mean, there's lots of ways they can do it, but I think the key would have been just taking advantage of the fact that marks like us are already angry at Vince McMahon for ruining NXT before anything even happened with NXT.
Mick's daughter's funny. That one's good.
Mick's daughter is there?
The image you tweeted was Noelle Foley.
NXT last week versus NXT this week.
Oh, snap. Yes.
But
I didn't realize. I just saw the meme and I didn't know who posted it. And I was like, oh, okay, this is so valid. Ironically enough, Sports Center actually was still using the old NXT. They were promoting NXT, but the old one, but it's still the yellow logo and all that. And I'm like, oh, someone didn't get the new.
In fairness, even WWE's social media was still using the old stuff up until this afternoon.
Oh, snap. Okay.
All of the stuff was still the black and yellow and the aggressive like logo and everything. But anyways, let's move on. Who wants to go next?
You know what it is, NXT. I'll go next.
Okay.
I didn't think of anything new, so we're going to go with it. Last week, I challenged you guys to name 4 title contenders on each brand. Is that right? Is that last week, 2 weeks ago?
I don't know if JLB even remembers because I think it was just me.
Okay, so
I think it was just me, and I think I did.
More than 2 weeks ago, then.
But I think I did 8 across both brands.
Yeah,
like I did the merging of the titles and all that stuff.
We're not going to do that. So what we're going to do on the 2 main roster brands, you guys can each pick one. I want you to choose title contenders in the pattern in which they win the title. So right now you have Big E as one of the champions. You have Roman Reigns as the other of the champions. I want you to choose the sequence in which they lose, win, who's going to come up, how they're going to kind of get there, and have the title move 4 times, 4 different competitors.
JLB, do you want to go first?
I booked this on Sunday night for SmackDown, and Smarks was like, "Yeah, that's great. They'll never do it." Just so you know, I not book it, Smarks.
We're only picking champions.
Yeah, no, you're only picking the Universal and WWE champions. So,
yes. So you get to choose Universal or WWE and choose the next 4 people.
How they're billed to that championship runs. So you can't go Roman Reigns loses to Brock Lesnar, goes back to Roman Reigns, goes back to Brock Lesnar. That didn't work. 4 champions, 4 people.
Okay.
Win sequentially. You can have, like, if you made Seth Rollins be one of the next champions, you can say Seth Rollins wins by getting the number 1 contenders match win over Edge. You could say, Big E loses the title. Theoretically, you could say to Bobby Lashley, you could have it go right back to where it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then Drew, and then Kofi to defend Big E's honor. I don't know.
Hey. Fair. Okay, I'll go first. I'll pick one picks Raw, one picks SmackDown, I guess, right?
Yes.
So I'll be nice. Marks, which one would you rather?
I'm literally leaving it up to you.
Really? You don't care for either or?
He's already heard what he said himself was a good booking for SmackDown. So
so he did SmackDown. So I'll do SmackDown.
No, he did.
No, he heard. I did SmackDown.
Yeah, and I don't
he
think
said it was good.
You didn't do 4. You just did like 1 or 2. But anyways, go ahead. You choose whichever one you want because
I named all 4 contenders.
You named contenders, but you didn't say this person is going to win it from this person. You didn't book it out like that. You only booked like one.
Well,
anyways,
because I didn't want to do the same thing over.
My point is still, I'm not going to probably do the same way you did anyways. So, JLB, choose which one you want to do.
Okay, so I'll do Roman Reigns.
Okay.
So obviously Roman's. First of all, who's Roman facing at Extreme Rules? He's facing
Demon.
Finn Balor. Okay.
As the Demon.
By the way, Smarks, you're fucked.
I do not think I am.
Okay. So this is my little wishbone, if you will, of what will go down. I kind of maybe what WWE would technically do a tad of it. So right off the bat, you have after Extreme Rules is what pay-per-view? It's the Crown Jewel bullshit.
That's what it is. We were trying to figure out what was.
Well, there's that, but they're still doing something in October that they haven't announced yet because they moved Hell in a Cell.
Great Balls of Brock.
Yeah.
Great Balls of Brock. It's a good S word. I'm copywriting it. Okay, yeah. So you have Roman essentially. Okay. You have Roman beat Finn at Extreme Rules. You set up some kind of Roman triple threat at the next pay-per-view since it's before Crown Jewel. It's going to be, let's say, Roman versus Seth versus Finn. Okay? No, but you can't even do that. You have to have Roman lose at Crown Jewel. You have Roman lose at Crown Jewel against Finn. Okay?
Crown Jewel or
Jesus Christ. You have Roman lose at Extreme Rules to Finn Balor. Okay. Brock Lesnar, though, however, kind of messes around with him. He takes Heyman or something like that. He grabs Heyman, brings him to the back. Roman's all like flustered. And then essentially he still continues on with the match. And then next thing you know, the Titantron comes on. You see the Usos all knocked out, all bloodied. You see Paul Heyman all on the ground, like all messed up. And ultimately Finn Balor ends up winning because of this. Then you see Brock come out laughing. It ends Extreme Rules. Ha 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 ha. Okay. So with that, there's a whole little thing. Roman wants to get his hands on Brock, but Roman also wants the championship and he demands to be acknowledged and he wants to face Finn Balor once again at whatever the pay-per-view, Great Balls of Brock. Okay. Whatever the pay-per-view is going to be called. With that though, you also have, since Seth doesn't have a storyline right now, you also have Seth get into the picture. Okay? You have Seth get into the picture and say, hey, listen, I helped you out with, I don't even know who the person he helped him out with. I think it was like a Cesaro thing. I helped you out with Cesaro. Remember who was the leader of who was the real leader of what's it called? Of Shield and all that. I was, and they get into this little feud as well. Okay. I'm the one that beat Brock. So I deserve to actually be here because it's being announced that whoever wins is going to face Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel. So ultimately, Brock Lesnar is the go-to guy at Crown Jewel. Brock Lesnar went crazy. He threatened the authority of SmackDown, Deville and whoever, and Brock gets what he wants. So triple threat happens. You have Roman go absolutely apeshit on everybody in the ring. Yeah, you have Roman go apeshit on everybody in the ring. Ultimately, though, he doesn't end up winning it back. Seth Rollins curb stomps him. He's out. Finn Balor retains, though. Oh, you can't have Brock at Crown Jewel with no title on the line. And I technically screwed myself over. I can't give the title back to Roman, or it's just not going to count as a secondary thing.
You had Finn in that, so that could be at the pay-per-view right before Crown Jewel.
Yeah, but if I'm giving it back to Roman, that's going against the rules. But whatever.
Well, you can give it back to Roman. That just doesn't count as one of the people.
Okay, fair. So it would be best then Roman just goes complete ape shit. Brock tries to do some more shenanigans, but Roman doesn't fall for it. He ends up getting really pissed and whatever have you. He retains it back by doing that whole Edge Bryan scenario, where he double pins them both because he's ultimately the tribal chief and whatever have you. Okay. Funny enough, that's in Finn, which I'm all down for, because they're gonna blame each other, and Seth could do it with his cocky attitude, make that work. So that's just ultimately what builds up Roman versus Brock. Okay, Roman versus Brock, Crown Jewel. It's going to be literally, I'm not sure if I want it to be a squash necessarily because it's Brock Lesnar and that's what Brock Lesnar does. But Roman has went toe-to-toe with Brock where it's been a longer match as well. So you ultimately, though, have Brock Lesnar end up, it's a battle. Okay, it's like a fight. It's a full-on fight. They go crazy. Ultimately, though, after 10 German suplexes and 3 F5s and 1 shooting star press for the fuck of it, Brock Lesnar ends up beating Roman Reigns, and he is now the champion. With that, you have Brock as the champion. Some kind of thing happens where the reason why he's the champion, Paul Heyman gets involved and screws Roman over. Okay? That's ultimately where Roman gets screwed over, and the advocate makes it that there's a clause for as long as Brock is champion, Roman cannot face him. A whole Drew McIntyre scenario. The reason why that happens is because Roman Reigns is now going to do his thing with The Rock. Okay? So that's why Roman Reigns is out of that picture. Ultimately, who do you have? The draft would have already been done by now, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you do have some kind of trade where Brock is just beating the hell out of a bunch of people on SmackDown, and no one can touch him. And they have an idea for Brock at Survivor Series. They say, wait, we're going to let you know of your opponent. If you beat this guy on SmackDown, he will come out right after. You'll find out who it is tonight. And this is before Survivor Series. And then Brock Lesnar beats whoever, wins the title. He's squashing everybody. And who comes out? Ladies and gentlemen, in a bombshell trade who wasn't traded during the draft, you have the almighty Bobby Lashley come out. And therefore, it will be Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley for Survivor Series. And as my fourth one, I have Bobby Lashley beating Brock Lesnar.
It's 4 champions.
That's 4 champions.
By Survivor Series.
Yeah,
that's
Survivor Series in 3 months.
I love it. I really do.
It's something Vince would do. I don't know if they can do a whole Bobby Lashley versus Brock for WrestleMania.
It is 100% not something Vince would do. Vince doesn't like to hotshot it around right now.
What do you mean? He would do Brock versus Lashley?
Oh,
he would do Brock versus Lashley.
Yeah, every one of those are matches you can see.
The matches he would do. He wouldn't do it in 3 months is what I'm saying.
He likes to keep the title on people way too long right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit too much, though. It's a bit too much.
Oh, I agree.
Vince randomly has had a brain aneurysm, and he decided, oh, snap. You know what? I can't think this long anymore. So if I can't think this long, neither is my creative team. Guys, 3 champions in 3 months. Do it. And then that's what you have.
Okay.
So I'm not doing 4
I like
champions in 3 months.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't.
I'm not doing that. Just so you know.
I deeply enjoy the idea of hot shotting it every now and then, though. You can have it hot shot back and forth several times if you want. Just doesn't count.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, here's the deal: is for me, Big E's keeping the championship up until at least after Survivor Series on Raw.
I feel like you might lose it at Extreme Rules, to be honest with you.
Nope. And I'm doing this. I don't think he's gonna, I think he's going to keep it, because here's why, and I'm going to pitch it to you right now, why they want to keep it on until at least Survivor Series. New Day versus the table in the Survivor Series.
Ooh.
Well, that's a thing they're doing on the house show, right?
You could put the SmackDown Tag Team Championship on New Day. And then I like it.
Exactly. So since I'm doing the booking for this here, up until at least Survivor Series, which in fairness, as of right now, is only 1.5 pay-per-views away. I say 1.5 because officially right now, WWE has not announced a main roster pay-per-view for October, except for the Crown Jewel event, which I don't count as a pay-per-view. That's the half, right? So we've got Extreme Rules, and we don't have anything else on the docket till November, except for Crown Jewel. So you have Big E keep it through Extreme Rules. Have that be a rematch. This is Bobby Lashley's rematch. And this allows Big E to solidify himself as the champion by beating Bobby Lashley in a one-on-one fair fight, instead of coming out afterwards, and cashing in his money in the bank and it being unfair, sort of a thing. This also would allow Bobby Lashley to take some time off. So this rematch, of course, title didn't change hands, wouldn't have mattered if it did, because it wouldn't count. But so then through Survivor Series, Big E's still the champion. You have Table versus New Day as the headlining acts of Survivor Series, right? We go to December, which right now is
Extreme Rules.
It's TLC.
Oh, that's what it was
in December, right? So at December, you can have a TLC match. We'll have it be a tables match. Now the build up for this is going to be. This is also part of why I wanted to do this, because we need a little bit of build up for my first change. And so we've got about 3 months to build this up here. We have T-Bar and Mace, and I'm going to say they start going by not fucking T-Bar and Mace anymore. They go by Dijakovic again and whatever is fucking Dio Madden, right? So Dio and Dijakovic. We have them go on a run where they're just being fucking bullies and they're beating up everyone, right? And they're gang attacking, where when someone's in a match, the other one helps out from outside. They distract the ref. They do all of that stuff, right? So you lead up to, by the time this 3 months has come by, Dijakovic has beaten almost everybody in one way or another. So he has a shot in a tables match against Big E at TLC. And because of heel shenanigans, because you can do that in a tables match, there's no DQs and so on and so forth, right? So Dio Madden helps. I mean, it still would be a fire match, though. I mean, let's be honest. Big E versus Dijakovic, right? You have Dio Madden help Dijakovic win by putting Big E through a table. So Big E's...
I don't know who Dio Madden is. I thought his name was Mace.
His name was Dio Madden because he was the announcer on Raw for fucking 4 months. Don't you remember?
I'm Vince McMahon. All I know is Mace. That's my creation.
Anyways, Dijakovic gets the win, gets the belt in a tables match in December. So now that gives Big E a full 3 months of championship with multiple defenses, including a defense against Bobby Lashley, where he gets a definitive victory and a fair fight match. Gets a win against some other people, gets a big match against Roman. Even if he loses at Survivor Series, he doesn't lose the title, sort of a thing. All sorts of fun there. And then leading up to him losing in December. Then, of course, in January, you've got a rematch, you could say, because here's the I'm a big fan of, I think people who have the title and lose should deserve a rematch, right? And I hated that they got rid of, they said we're getting rid of the rematch clause. Why? I mean, I get it. They were overdoing the rematch.
They did? They got rid of
like
the rematch clause?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Really? Oh.
Remember, it was when they did the whole "you are the authority" speech. We're making this better for you and everything. We're getting rid of the rematch clause. Yada yada yada.
I feel like McIntyre still had rematches though, like galore, even when whoever McIntyre faced.
He had lots of matches, but it wasn't based on the automatic rematch clause. That was the whole deal. And here's the problem was, it wasn't the automatic rematch clause. It was the fact that they just had continuous matches, right? Someone would challenge and lose and then get another match. That's not a rematch because they weren't the champion. The champion should have a shot at regaining the title. And if they lose that time, then they go to the back of the line, right? Anyways, so let's see here. We've got January 1st is going to be WWE Day 1, not technically a pay-per-view, but a special event thing. So we could probably put the rematch at that, a big Dijakovic versus Big E, try to win it back. Dijakovic successfully defends it. Probably still due to heel stuff, right? That's fine. We get to Royal Rumble. The winner of the Royal Rumble is going to be Keith Lee, setting up the WrestleMania match of Dijakovic versus Keith Lee at WrestleMania.
Jeez.
Who doesn't want to see that?
Saw it in NXT.
Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon would definitely want to see that.
Spanish flies for everyone.
Yes.
I hate Spanish flies. I don't even speak their language. No.
Yeah, this is America.
Buzz,
Speak
senor,
American.
buzz, buzz.
Speak American. This is American fly. So WrestleMania, Keith Lee manages to beat Dijakovic for the title. So now you've got Keith Lee as champion. We go to it looks like right now the betting, as they call the next one, the WrestleMania Payback. You can have the rematch on that one, automatic rematch. I think Keith Lee wins there, so we don't hot shot it back and forth. After that, with Keith Lee as the title holder, this is where we go back and we pay into some of the storylines that are going on right now. We have Drew McIntyre trying to work his way back up to a title shot because he couldn't get a title shot against Bobby Lashley anymore. But now that it's on Big E, he can. And so he spends this next time trying to work his way back up. But he is constantly being foiled by Jinder Mahal.
Oh, boy.
So finally, Jinder Mahal beats him in a match for the number one contenders spot. And we have Jinder Mahal versus Keith Lee because Jinder Mahal's a fucking heat magnet right now. And the fans will riot when I have Jinder Mahal beat Keith Lee.
Oh my God. You're worse than Vince McMahon.
I'm going to give Keith Lee a few months at it.
Sounds like a transitional.
Yeah, it's going to be transitional, right? We'll give, let's see, Keith Lee wins it at WrestleMania, defends it at Payback. Looks like they're thinking the May one will be called Over the Edge. So,
really? They're going to call it Over the Edge? I mean, I get it. It's been
no, they haven't
years.
announced. This is just what people are speculating. I'm going to point out. This is just speculation, right?
I mean, it sounds like a Vince McMahon thing to do.
Yeah. So the rematch is Over the Edge. Over the Edge. We had some other match. King of the Ring. I say that's where we have Jinder Mahal beat Keith Lee, which then puts SummerSlam. Drew McIntyre finally gets his payback.
Oh, nice.
Against Jinder Mahal and wins the championship back from Jinder Mahal and becomes your champion and finally gets to be champion in front of an audience.
Hey, I like that.
And that puts us, my storylines went a whole year.
Both of which are too fast for Vince's taste.
Yes. More in reality, Vince might do something along the lines of this, but only with 3 steps rather than 4.
Yeah. Jinder wouldn't be in there.
Yeah, Jinder might. Well, Dijakovic might not be in there either, but
yeah, I feel like more Jinder than Dijakovic.
Uh-huh.
Keith Lee's gonna have to be, man. Like, come on.
Not if he wants to keep his name.
Anyways, but that's what I would do.
Both of those are better than whatever will happen.
Yes, they are 100% better.
Just to fill.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because I mean, if they're thinking about doing that Bloodline versus New Day thing, that could literally escalate into some craziness as well.
No,
and
one show.
Really? That sounds like a good 6-month run.
No, because it's going to be
Survivor Series.
It's Survivor Series. It's just building up for Survivor Series because that's the one time of the year that SmackDown and Raw face off head to head.
Stupid.
And then it's dumb, but it's fire this time.
Stakes.
Well, yeah. Here's the deal: it's a fire idea from a standpoint of these are 2 factions that we would love to see head to head. In reality, if they were to add 2 more members to the table, and then have New Day get some friends and do it as a New Day versus the table or the Bloodline, whatever, in a Survivor Series match, that's probably more likely what they'll do. Yeah. And it'd just be a single match for it, there. But in reality, anyways, in the end, I could see in this next year the belt hopping, Biggie keeping it for 4 to 5 months, it hopping to someone else for transitional, just a couple months, and then it hopping to Drew McIntyre or maybe back to Bobby Lashley. Of course, I booked it based on current roster because I didn't want to fuck around with there's a draft and this happens and whatever. So anyways,
to give you an idea, JLB, what I had done was okay.
Sorry, hold on, I'm gonna fix it.
Anyway, what I had done was Finn wins the title because of Brock shenanigans. Brock and Roman start feuding non-title, and Seth and Edge get into the title picture with Finn, and that's just fire. But I didn't book that far out, like Smart said. So
okay, but almost was the same, essentially.
Pretty similar. Very similar. It wasn't identical. I didn't put the title on Brock. I am adamantly against, but I love the idea of a Roman Brock feud. I really love the idea of it overseas, so we don't have to. So
Right.
Smarks doesn't have to watch it because he hates the idea of Roman Brock feud.
Won't do him.
How
Well, it's
is
not the Roman Brock feud that I hate the idea of. It's the crown jewel, but that's beside the point.
Oh, hey, by the way, I did figure out where Goldberg's coming back for his third match this year.
Oh, or his final match this year? No?
Crown jewel?
Crown jewel, obviously.
Get that Saudi money.
Yep.
Get some of that blood money.
Against who?
The end of it. That's the end of it.
Against who?
I don't know. Probably Bobby Lashley, since the title's off of him right now.
Okay. Yeah.
That actually makes sense because he's pissed off that Bobby Lashley
Choked out.
Has there been any black superstars in Crown Jewel so far?
Yeah. Jinder
Mahal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, remember, Crown Jewel or Greatest Royal Rumble was the famous Titus.
Yeah, that's where Titus took his
True. Okay.
So,
True.
the
Titus
Titus trip.
Yeah. Titus, why you tripping? All right. Okay. I got a fun little one, maybe. So I'm gonna bring it back a little.
Bring it back, bring
Just
it back.
bring it-
Here we go.
Just bring it on back a little. Essentially, I'm taking you back, not that back, but I'm taking
cool because I'm an old fool. Who's so sorry?
Whole lot of crappy rap happening on the other side.
No, I'm bringing you back to just when the Attitude Adjustment era began. The only difference is you have to build up. Give me kind of a superstar that you would have built up back then, but John Cena was never part of the wrestling school.
Okay, so this is the PG-13 era. That's what you're saying. This is right after the Attitude era.
No. This is John Cena just came into ruthless aggression.
So this is ruthless aggression without John Cena.
Without John Cena. Okay. So I've took the liberty, if you guys need the roster, because that was 2003, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
we have to have somebody else come out instead of John Cena.
Yes. So Kurt Angle's doing his whole thing, or if you want to make it Kurt Angle, you can whatever. But it's not going to be, there's no John Cena. John Cena does not exist. He was never in OVW, or he's in OVW, but he wasn't improving on his skills. And you need your next top guy. So,
but John Cena didn't become a top guy out of that.
Well, I mean,
it took him a while to become a top guy, but it did launch the ruthless aggression era. I mean,
yeah, that's kind of the thing. So that's why, I mean, you can start when John Cena became a top guy if you want, but essentially that's where he had started from, because it didn't take him long either. It took him like, what, a year and a half? Because even when
getting fired,
because I would even say with his whole rap thing, the Thugonomics, right? He was over. He was over, and he was getting to the top guy status. So I don't know, build where you want, essentially, but you have to build your next John Cena without John Cena with that current roster.
All right. So the guy who comes out instead of John Cena from me. God, I just love this roster. Just looking through it, I'm just like, oh.
Because you really had nobody.
No, dude, you got tons of stuff. I can see A-Train doing it, Bradshaw, Brock Lesnar, of course. Chuck Palumbo coming out doing that. Farouk coming out doing that. Edge. Heidenreich How good is Batista and Heidenreich coming out and saying ruthless aggression.
But as your next John Cena,
Heidenreich.
that's going to be your big.
Hold on, I'm looking.
On a side note, this website is freaking awesome. When I found this,
the one I'm choosing is one Matt Morgan.
The prototype.
Yep. I want Matt Morgan to come out, ruthless aggression, and throw Kurt Angle into the corner and do the elbows thing to him.
why am I not remembering Matt Morgan?
Because you didn't watch him when he was good on the Impact.
Oh, that's fair. Oh, shit. Okay, yeah, this guy was a beast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why didn't they do more with him? Damn. This is up WWE's alley.
He's pretty unpolished at the time. The unfortunate part is guys like Test, Heidenreich, those guys had already had a run under crappy roles, so you can't really do that with like Test or anything. You could have pulled it off maybe with Batista. I think it's early enough that Batista is in a different role.
Yeah, Batista only started in WWE in 2002, so you put this 2003 era.
I can see Danny Basham carrying that role. The first person I thought of was Toothless Aggression and Chris Benoit, but he was pretty well established. So
that, and he wouldn't be able to pull that John Cena heat. He can't talk on the mic. You know, the whole thing with John Cena is
John Cena at that point couldn't talk on the mic either.
Yeah.
It took
this roster had a lot of established guys already on it. That's the downside. You could have pulled off Randy Orton. I think it would have hurt Randy Orton's long-term career. I think it would have hurt WWE long-term. But in terms of a guy that you could give a push to that hadn't really been established yet, I really like Matt Morgan for that. I really, really do. I don't really see. I think Batista or Matt Morgan are it at the time.
I have another option. I'll get to it when
Brock would have been able to, but he'd been in for a year, and that's why ruthless aggression needed to be an option.
Yeah.
Somebody else did. Chris Kanyon. Nobody's better than Kanyon.
Yeah. So the option that I would have gone with, I think, because Batista was my first choice, so I agree with you there on it. But Nathan Jones.
I also like that one. That's a really good choice.
He fucking has the look to pull off that sort of thing. He actually only ended up lasting in WWE for like less than a year. And I think part of it's because he just got overshadowed by other people and didn't really accomplish much.
I think there's also two established stars that can pull something off there, because this challenge is more of a discussion challenge, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I really do think that you could have repackaged Farouk, because it's right after Bradshaw cut his hair and stuff. You could have repackaged Farouk as the person who did it. But more importantly, I think you could have brought Mark Henry out at that point, because it's literally exactly who Mark Henry becomes later on when he starts Hall of Pain.
Yep. That's true. Poor Mark, man.
And then you have Olympian versus Olympian, which is a selling point for that.
For sure.
You can get some Mark Henry versus Brock Lesnar, which we never really got. I think there's something there with Mark Henry if you wanted to.
It's sad that it took Mark Henry. Okay, the Hall of Fame, he was good, but then like a retirement speech for everyone to kind of really be behind him.
Oh, I loved him in Hall of Fame. That was when my taste started to mature a little bit in wrestling. The early mid 2000s. It's not that I didn't know it was fake. I knew it was fake, but you still fall for the storylines when you're young.
For sure.
I was probably 24, 25, maybe 26 when Hall of Pain came out. I hadn't really watched for a few years and started rewatching again. That heel work. I mean, he was just, to quote a movie, Kane the Destroyer. I mean, he was just a completely different. He just came out and destroyed people. I mean, what he did to Big Show with the suplex off the top, yes, I know it had already been done, but suplex and breaking the ring and I mean, he power slammed Big Show, for heaven's sakes. That's a pretty big deal.
Yep.
That Hall of Pain storyline could have run for multiple titles, and he should have been the guy who was the first Black WWE champion. He did have the big gold belt, and then he had the ECW belt. But
what do you mean? There was already a first. Farouk was the first.
Farouk
not in
was
WWE. Yeah, he was the NWA. Well, and technically, he's only credited as the WCW. It's during a time NWA doesn't officially recognize the WCW Big Gold Belt champions, even though they were together at the time. So, in a fun twist of I think the first Black officially recognized NWA champion is Ron Killings.
Oh,
officially recognized when he won it at TNA. That's R-Truth, yeah. When he was Ron Killings in TNA. So I think Nathan Jones would be great because he had the look.
Yeah, he absolutely did.
I think he got fucking just absolutely buried in WWE.
The Undertaker feud.
Well, because he debuted, and on his first match after debuting, they changed his the next week. They changed his gimmick, right? So suddenly he didn't have a gimmick.
True.
Didn't he start hanging with Test and Albert TNA?
Yes, and then he
like a bodyguard for Test and Albert. Like those two dudes need a bodyguard.
Yeah, I mean it was all sorts of just weird. I mean, he did a bunch of house shows and everything, but like in terms of like actual
pay-per-view match against the Undertaker, like they obviously had some confidence in him, and he got buried. But you're right, he had the look.
Yeah. Exactly, he had the look and everything, and then he was out injured for a while. So he missed a bunch of time. And then he came back and he was on Brock Lesnar's Survivor Series team and got eliminated. And then, I mean, he just went through like a bunch of gimmicks in that 8 months that he was there.
Yeah.
And never had a chance to really catch on, shine or anything, because it was just, shotgunning gimmicks at him and never letting him go. Matt Morgan was a really good one as well. Because he went off and he actually had
a really good career.
Yeah. A pretty decent career because he went to TNA, continued in TNA till 2013. And then Independent, and now he is a politician.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. What a role reverse right there. Jesus.
Yeah. In fact, he got into a little bit of trouble a couple years ago. Or last year, I guess. In this, because he was tied to Joel Greenberg. If you're not familiar with American politics right now, Joel Greenberg is the guy who's being investigated and working with the FBI to reduce his sentence in the Matt Gaetz child sex trafficking story that's going on. So Matt Morgan's kind of tied to that. Anyway,
why? Because he knows him.
Most of the time it's because you know somebody.
He was known,
socialized or campaigned with.
Greenberg made payments to Matt Morgan's company, Blueprint Enterprises, for consulting jobs. But auditors wrote that they could find, quote, no evidence of work product by Morgan's company. These payments from October 30th, 2019 to July 6th, 2020 totaled $40,500, which began 3 weeks after Morgan was released from a huge $36,000 tax lien.
A
little weird there. Anyways, allegedly, I'm gonna put that out there. Allegedly,
big red machine style.
Yeah.
Fun little fact. Apparently, they were. I guess he was still part of the company, but Matt Morgan was actually supposed to be Kane behind the mask. No, never heard that. I just read that technically, and I was wondering if maybe.
No, I've never heard it. That is a fun fact. Thank you.
Welcome.
But Matt Morgan was fun to watch in the ring.
When did he leave? Jindrak wouldn't have been a horrible choice.
Yeah, Jindrak or like I said, Palumbo.
Or Palumbo.
Jindrak.
Yeah, Palumbo wouldn't have been a horrible choice.
Palumbo would have had to have a different look.
Yeah, the only downside, because like you said with some of the other ones, the only downside with both Palumbo and Jindrak is they did have previous on-screen appearances with both of them starting off in WCW. And so they were on air in WCW for like a year and a half or 2 years before WCW folded. And then they were sporadically on WWE up until, about Ruthless Aggression era. So, but
who was it not Jindrak? Who was the one that had the spiky hair? Sean O'Hare.
Stasiak.
Well, there was also Sean O'Hare.
I think you're thinking of Sean Stasiak, though.
Yeah, Meat. You're thinking of Meat.
Here, I gotta get down to the Sean.
Sean O'Hare usually had long brown hair and a little soul patch goatee.
But they weren't there at the time. Neither of them were.
No,
okay, there's Sean O'Hare. No, I was thinking Sean O'Hare. Sean O'Hare was stacked, cut like he was made out of steel. That dude would have been a good one for that too. Rest in peace.
Oh, he died?
He, I think, was a drug overdose.
Oh, shit. Okay.
It might have been a suicide, but I think it was a drug overdose.
Damn. Speaking of which, rest in peace to, it's nothing to do related to drug overdose there, but to Norm Macdonald. Saturday Night Live legend had unfortunately passed away due to cancer.
Yeah.
No one knew.
Yeah, apparently he'd been battling it for like a decade, but didn't let anyone outside of his family know about it because he didn't want it to turn into a thing.
Mm.
And if he'd have let one of his besties, Adam Sandler, know, it would have been a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've seen it be a thing for Adam. So.
Well, no, but I mean, Adam Sandler might not have known, just might not have said anything either.
Mm-hmm. That's what we're saying is Adam Sandler probably didn't know, because if Adam Sandler did know, everyone would have known.
It would have likely been a thing.
So
I'm sure he knew, guys. They were really freaking close.
Yeah.
I don't think Adam Sandler would have been. Well, we'll find out. I mean, eventually Adam Sandler is going to get interviewed on this. So, yeah, very sad.
Yeah.
But yes, very sad. Anyways, we will go ahead and move on to our lovely game that we play every week, AEW, Ring of Honor, or Impact, where we give a list of 3 current WWE superstars, and you have to choose where you are going to put them. And so the first challenge for you two is I'm going to go with the 3 people who actually hit the ring out of the 4 originally scheduled for the NXT Fatal 4-Way. So we've got Tommaso Ciampa, we've got LA Knight, and we've got Pete Dunne.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Tommaso Ciampa to AEW. There is something about his style in the ring that works really good because it's really aggressive and really showy, and Widow's Peak and stuff like that bring a different flavor than AEW has. So I think he works well in AEW. LA Knight to ROH because I don't fucking like him. And I don't fucking like him more than I don't fucking like Pete Dunne. So I'm just going to leave it at that I don't like either of them. But I think Pete Dunne's finger manipulation and joint manipulation and stuff like that is the reason. I know that's the reason I don't like Pete Dunne.
Me too.
And LA Knight, the reason I don't like him is because I don't fucking like him. And I know that Smarks does not agree on that because he thinks he's a great heel. But
LA Knight?
Yeah.
You remember, I'm the one who always says he's the guy who grew up thinking he could be The Rock, and they just told him, go ahead and be The Rock.
That's true. That's true.
He's not on my top 100. So
yeah. So I don't fucking like him. And Pete Dunne, I don't fucking like joint manipulation. So you're going to be on Impact so that some of those big dudes can show you what it is to have your entire body manipulated.
Straight up.
By Moose doing a Spanish fly and then spearing you 16 times and then doing another Spanish fly. That way every joint in your body is manipulated by Moose. And then Sami Callihan hitting you with 17 different foreign objects.
Yeah. So my I don't hate Pete Dunne as much as you, but he's not like high on my list either. For me, Pete Dunne, the joint manipulation, I don't have a hatred for it overall. I just think it was way more entertaining when I first saw it happen, when Marty Scurll was doing it. I think we can talk as much as we want to about Marty Scurll's issues and how he's someone that we kind of don't want in the industry right now. But I'm gonna tell you this much: he did the joint manipulation, the finger snapping thing so much better.
Oh, it was way more entertaining when he did it. Way more. And so maybe it's how Pete Dunne does it. I don't know. It's the same feeling I have about Shayna Baszler's elbow stomp thing. Like, here's an idea. When she gets up to stomp, move your freaking arm.
Yeah. The way Marty Scurll always did it is it was standing up, but he would always hold them out like he had their arm in an arm bar, and then he'd grab their fingers and they'd be like, no. And then he when he did it, I don't know how he did it, but there was a snap sound that came out as he did it. And it really sounded like something popped out a joint or something on it. But he also added to it because he had this whole this whole gimmick with the villain, this whole evil look and evil laugh on his face the entire time he did it. Like, I'm not doing this because it'll win the match for me. I'm doing it because it causes you pain. You know what I mean? So, anyways.
Yeah, no, I liked it. JLB?
So I feel like you have to put Tommaso Ciampa on AEW. I feel like that's like the best place for him.
I think he actually fits AEW.
He fits AEW perfectly. We have LA Knight and who else?
Pete Dunne.
Peter.
Peter. You know what? I mean, LA Knight was an Impact, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Something just ran.
I don't know. I feel like I think I'm putting LA Knight back to Impact because he was even a world champion there, if I'm not mistaken. So LA Knight's going to Impact and Pete Dunne can go to ROH where I'll never see him. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just happy for Tommaso Ciampa and all that there. Aside from everyone else, I could give a rat's arse.
Arse. Okay.
Arse. Yep.
So who wants to go next?
Who are these two people?
One of them, the one on the
green, isn't it?
No, it's Tay Conti on one side, Ty Conti, I guess, and the other one, I don't even know her name. She's the one who's with.
She's an NWA, no?
No, that picture is from NXT tonight. She's the one with Gigi Dolan and Mandy Rose, and I don't know her name. She's
the one on the left is
the one that's. Got to go back to the picture because I'm not on it right now.
Are you sure they're not messing with us and it's just not the same person?
No.
Why would you have the same ring attire? What the?
Because I am a follower of Tay Conti, even though I mispronounced her name. She's one of my favorites in AEW. That's her on what is our right. And the other one, and like I said, I don't remember her name offhand. And maybe they say in the comments.
I mean, it's a little bit different on the top.
Yeah, I mean there are differences, but the colors are almost identical. The fact that they both went for the fishnets on the bottom with the boy shorts.
If you gave me this picture for a spot the difference, I mean there would be a lot of differences there, but still pretty freaking similar.
It's similar enough that you could do a spot the difference.
No, I mean you can, but at the end of the day, like. It's more the face. She just doesn't have the black thing on top.
JC Jane is her name in NXT.
Tacey Tane?
JC
Jane.
Oh, they did a little curve. That way she's not Tay still.
Yeah. But yeah, I made JC Jane. She apparently was Avery Taylor when she worked the Indies, and then of course WWE gave her her new name. And then the other one, Gigi Dolan, was Priscilla Kelly on the Indies, wrestled a few times in AEW.
This getting of Indies stuff is garbage.
Yeah, but
anyway,
I just saw that photo and I thought, that is really interesting because
here's a thing.
Yeah, here's a thing. Anyways, so who wants to do the next challenge?
I'll go next.
Okay.
You didn't tell us where you're. Oh, you put LA Knight into Impact. That's right.
Yeah. So Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and I'm gonna give you a little swerve. Big E will not be part of it, and you will put Kofi Kingston, and you will put. Cesaro. It's Cesaro's easy though. You'd put Cesaro in AEW.
I don't know. Kofi's part of that.
I know. We'll go with that. Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, Cesaro.
I'll let you go first because I can handle changing it no matter what it is.
Well, I'm probably gonna. You're probably not gonna have to change it for me. Mostly because we've done Cesaro many times, and I've usually flipped between AEW or Impact for him, back and forth on that. In this particular situation, though, I really think WWE has dropped the ball on Xavier Woods in many ways. He's the only member of the New Day to
not have been a world champion.
Never even got a shot. And I think he's way more talented than that. So I would probably do Xavier Woods to AEW. And there's another reason for that, kind of behind the scenes, but we'll get to that after. Xavier Woods to AEW, Kofi Kingston to Impact, which puts Cesaro to Ring of Honor by unfortunately
Claudio Castagnoli's returning.
backstage reason for Xavier Woods, though, is up, down, down. AEW could absolutely monopolize the YouTube algorithm if they got Xavier Woods starting to talk about AEW on up, down, down. So, anyways, that's how I would go. Babe,
I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't do that. I knew you wouldn't do that.
No. I feel like up, down, down allows him to do whatever the hell he wants. So that's his safety net, and he knew it, and that's why he did it. And
it is 100%, but it's a safety net, but he still doesn't talk about AEW on it. And AEW could really use it as a marketing tool, like literally allow him to do it, continue to do it, but now instead of being a WWE superstar who has up, down, down, he is now AEW superstar who has sponsorship for up, down, down. And so it becomes a cross promotional thing where not only is AEW talking about up, down, down on their show, but he's talking about AEW on up, down, down.
Gotcha.
So.
All right. So I'm going to put Kofi to AEW. Yes, I know that he's past his prime. He's, 40-ish, maybe even older than that. He's going to be knocking on the door of retiring soon, but he also has it. And that it factor could really help. I think there's places where AEW does not have that level of athleticism. They do have a lot of athleticism, so this is not an insult to the likes of Sammy Guevara or Jungle Boy or all those wonderful athletes. This is just there's another level that Kofi gets, and they don't have they have a single set barricade, but it opens the door for things like Kenny Omega's do-over the other night and whatnot, to see some of that stuff happen more often. Claudio Castagnoli to Impact. He's not been there yet, and I think he provides another world title contender. And I'm going to allow Xavier Woods to go to ROH because there's not a travel schedule, or it's a very, very minimal travel schedule. Very minimal travel schedule. That's what I'm doing.
As of right now, there is a 0 travel schedule for them because they it didn't get announced, but it's been reported that Death Before Dishonor, which was their pay-per-view last weekend, will be their last show in front of live audiences for the time being.
Which is the smartest move in the world. I don't know why other promotions don't do the same. I know they want to make money, but let that variant, man. You guys are having it tough over there.
This is America. We have live shows. No, here's the real speculation is that they're not making any money. They're barely selling out at any shows. And so that this is Sinclair saying, instead of having half empty stadiums, let's go back to no people in the crowd. And we can cover our butts better that way. Anyways,
that makes sense.
So, okay, DFA, what's your challenge?
Oh, yeah, I have to come up with one of these. That's right. Okay, so I'm going to do a time machine, and I'm going to throw us back to the 2003 roster that all of us probably still have up on our computer screens right now. And just to make it nice, simple, and easy, we're just going to use the 3 people we talked about in that challenge. So we are going to use John Cena and Matt Morgan And where's the cue ball at? What's his name again? Smarks?
My guy, Nathan Jones.
Nathan Jones. Those are your three.
In 2003.
Yeah.
4, right.
Yeah.
So,
but today. Yes. But that athlete, Time Machine Ford, 17 years. Oh God, doesn't you feel old?
Oh well, I always said you guys were old farts.
I feel really old because I heard a millennial, or maybe it was a Gen Zer, I don't know, refer to the 1990s as the late 1900s. And I was like,
savage little bastard.
Wait.
I mean, he isn't wrong.
Wait, no. Hey, no. The late 1900s.
Arcane technology from the 20th century.
Yeah. Yeah, way back in the late 1900s, they wait. Oh, hold on here with that. Anyways, Matt Morgan to AEW, Cena to Impact, Nathan Jones to Ring of Honor. I don't think Nathan Jones ever had the mic skills. I think that was, and maybe he just never was given the. First of all, he's Australian, so maybe Vince McMahon didn't think he spoke English. So you take Matt Morgan to AEW. You can be the blueprint there. None of them really fit the AEW scheme. Really, they're all too big. But I think the blueprint, Nathan Jones to Ring of Honor, and yeah, that gives young John Cena can cut his teeth in Impact Wrestling, where he can deliver promos and
by the end of 2003, he was Dr. Thugonomics, which actually fits in Impact.
Yeah, so I think that's what I do.
Yeah, I feel like Nathan Jones is a good fit for Impact, though.
He's a beast.
He's a beast. Like, I'm really shocked WWE didn't do more with him. If Nathan Jones came into the picture now, what he was back then, Vince would freaking love him. He'd be the next Karrion Kross. I'm not sure. He would be somewhere along those lines. Or he'd be like the NXT 2.0 champion, perhaps.
Vince is now loving Karrion Kross. He just didn't at first for God only knows whatever reason. He wanted Matt Hardy to cheat and beat him.
Jeff Hardy, but I think he always liked Karrion Kross. I think he
wanted to make a statement about NXT.
I think there was that. I think he also, like you said, the reports had it that they had a storyline planned where Karrion Kross can't win without Scarlett Bordeaux. And so he would lose, but it's not just that he lost to Jeff Hardy, it's how he lost in such a huge fashion. But I think Vince obviously now definitely loves Karrion Kross because he thinks he can sell action figures with that stupid helmet on.
Can't forget about the suspenders. That's a top selling point. So Nathan Jones to Impact. John Cena in 2003 kind of maybe might fit AEW. I could see him going for the TNT championship kind of thing. See him face Cody Rhodes.
Or Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes, excuse me.
Yeah. We established while you weren't here that Cody Rhodes wrestles for Impact.
What's Cody Rhodes doing in the
impact zone? That's valid. And then of course you have oh damn, that means Matt Morgan goes to ROH. Oh. Sorry, John Cena, you're going to ROH, buddy. Matt Morgan is going to Impact. I see him facing against like Lance Archer and like Brian Cage, maybe, or Wardlow, even forming like some like big man duo or something. They could compete for the Trios Championship. And because the Trios Championship doesn't necessarily have to be flipped to 2 guys, right? It's just a 3-man team. So they kind of build that up sort of ordeal. I don't know. I don't see him going for the champion, the world just yet. You don't make him face Omega. You make him face like if Hangman ever wins it, or if Christian wins it, or I don't know. You don't touch Omega. You don't even touch it if Daniel Bryan wins it for Matt Morgan. With that said, I don't know. Matt Morgan was just kind of more of a Hoss guy, right? Like he wasn't like, I don't even know what his finisher was, but I feel like he was just more of a power bomb.
Yep, big powerhouse.
Kind of suplex, big powerhouse, right? Okay. So yeah, that's what I think I would do. And the Thugonomics can be popular in ROH. Maybe that's essentially what puts ROH more on the map and gets them like a legit good TV deal. So, hey, why not? But then again, maybe ROH wouldn't have seen anything in him because he was just some guy with red tights with stripes on it and, didn't fit the part. Kudos to WWE for making John Cena their little poster boy because they did wonders with him. That's what I would do.
I just want to take that and I want you to remember John Cena's green here. Does John Cena go, oh my gosh, what a wonderful opportunity I can finally face this legend CM Punk?
True.
Does CM Punk go, this young and up-and-comer, oh wow, how great would that be? I know that they don't have a wonderful taste for each other at this juncture.
Now, right.
But can you imagine with John Cena looking up to CM Punk?
Apparently CM Punk was kind of a prick, though. Even back then.
What?
He's mature.
I can't fathom it. Yeah, I mean, dude wouldn't hold a straight face during a vignette out of the ring.
Hey. Never gonna let it go. Is that shirt still live?
Speaking of vignettes, that shirt is live.
Mm-hmm. You can go get
that
guy's face on your tummy.
Look at this.
Face.
Minus a double chin. The double chin won't be there. So.
Well, because he had the beard. It had the double chin. Told you, beard to hide it. That's the point.
That face.
This face.
Yeah, see, watch.
Your
screen.
There.
I feel like I'm gonna.
Right there.
Ah, I love my beard. Why did I ever think of shaving that beard off?
See, who would look like that?
Oh, that's not bad. That's kind of cool, actually.
Holy cow, that's a really slimming shirt. I should wear that.
Yeah, you won't look like that.
You should.
Oh.
but a shirt's not your thing. You can get it on a tank top.
Can I see it on a hoodie?
You can get it on. This is my favorite hoodie that we offer because it's multicolored.
Navy blue.
So you can do this color here.
Oh, nice.
Or white and gray. Or black and gray.
You guys should get that at Zero Pro and just throw my face to everybody.
Not happening.
You
could get it on a hat if you wanted to, but no, here. I'm coming down. I got to scroll down a little bit.
I have a feeling this is going to be a copy.
Oh, I'm getting that mug. I'm getting that mug. Yeah, straight up.
There's.
Get it on a toque.
You can get it on a toque.
Oh my
Jesus,
gosh.
People would.
I have this weird feeling you're going to be walking around Montreal with your own face on your shirt.
Can I see the white one? Well, technically, I did one for the WTN. I ordered a hoodie, but it's my face with the other two co-hosts in a cartoon fashion. So I think one of these days, face on a whole bunch of stuff. Oh my god!
They don't do a white toque; they do a gray toque or a darker.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard with the writing. Yeah, I'd probably go with the black,
toque,
or the yeah.
Yeah, what's funny is they've got black and they've got dark gray, and they really don't look that much different.
Nope, that's it. You said it was cotton, right?
Yeah, it's currently it's
like
more of a t-shirt type material. It's not a winter toque.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get it on
Which
a mug.
coffee mug would you choose?
Yeah,
would you choose the
get it on a water bottle.
Bottle water.
Get it on a black, blue, or red one, or the multicolor black, blue, or red, or the water bottle.
Snap! I think I'd get the multicolor. I do need. Oh, it looks good on that shirt. I do need me a tank top, so I might see how the tank tops are.
Or the camper coffee mug, that little metal thing. You could get it on a woman's crop top.
Hey.
I reckon I'd buy it for you if you wore that on the show.
You could get it on the Stars and Bars shirt.
That's not happening. Maybe if it was a Canadian flag.
Seriously, look how cool you look there.
Oh my
Stars
gosh.
and Bars, man.
So you're telling me if I buy that one, I'll look like that?
Apparently, the bucket hat's out of stock already. You could upgrade to an iPhone and get it on a iPhone case.
Upgrade. It's like the iPhone 6. What are they going to upgrade?
No, iPhone 11. iPhone 11, iPhone nice. 12 Pro Max.
Oh, nice.
Looks like you can get it.
We got new ones now.
Tie-dye.
Of course,
shirt.
They did just announce the iPhone 13 today, so.
Yeah, $799 US, so it's still like $1,200 here.
Wear it on tie-dye.
You get tie-dye.
Yeah, that's actually not too shabby.
Red tie-dye.
Did you guys see what Orange Cassidy did this week with his T-shirt? Was it you that sent us that, Smarks? The Orange Cassidy where somebody... No, it was on TikTok. Orange Cassidy had somebody send him a design.
You go to TikTok now?
Shut up. We're not discussing my disdain for losing my morals over.
Clearly, it's not a disdain. It's not a disdain.
It's a secondary podcast I do. Shush. Anyway,
on TikTok?
No.
He uses TikTok to promote it.
Yeah. So anyway, the Orange Cassidy took a shirt that somebody designed on Twitter and said, it had like an arrow. This should be an orange juice container. This should be an orange. And it's just them drawing him. And so he just cut the drawing and put it on a shirt on his website.
Orange Cassidy has always been phenomenal with his t-shirts. At one point, he released a t-shirt that was just the generic icon from Windows, right? And it was entitled Orange Cassidy T-shirt design.jpg. But instead of the file, it was just the icon. Like that's what he submitted to make it. I think this works. Orange Cassidy T-shirt design.jpg. There you go. It's on there. Wonder if it's still up on PWTs.
Look at all that fun stuff. Sasha Bear, Vignet, Piss Air Podcast. What do I own here? I own everything. I own a lot of these. I don't have a doobly-doo. I don't have a Vignet.
I have a doobly-doo.
I'm trying to figure out if I want a Sasha Bear yet or not. I know Smarks has ordered.
I think I'm gonna get it on a mug. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't wear anything else with Sasha Bear on it.
I feel like we might be sold out of all the large enough for me stuff because Smarks bought it all already.
I did not buy it all.
Okay, he left 3 of them expecting me to buy them.
Well, I mean, for the most part,
Did you guys get your shirts yet for the autographs?
they're on the way.
Yep.
Nice.
They'll be here.
Shipping was confirmed this morning.
Yeah.
Hey.
But they try to see if the Orange Cassidy shirt's still up on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Oh. I was wondering why you weren't scrolling. I was like, what is going on? What are we doing here?
I see, because here's the thing with me. I'm not tall, so for me, I don't need the extra size to be tall. I'm just fat.
Yeah.
So I didn't take all of the shirts in your size because I didn't need to.
Because I'm tall.
Because you're tall, and I see here. Watch. I want you to do share Chrome tab. This is the shirt that I just love. Hey.
Oh.
So is Pro Wrestling Tees kind of like a spreadshirt, technically?
Yes and no.
But they own their stuff.
See, there it says C:/users/desktop/new folder/stuff/new folder/new folder/search/baby/pro wrestle tees/new folder/freshly squeezed.gif. He titled it Freshly Squeezed 7, but in black.
That's awesome.
I remember when I first saw that, I was like, that is awesome.
Doesn't look like the new one from the other person's on there.
Well, I'm all the way to page 2 right now, so let me go back to page 1, see if it's on page 1. No. Nope, doesn't.
There it is.
Mug is awesome.
Yeah, it
Oh,
is.
is that one?
Yep, Orange Punch. He actually did do it. Oh my god, that's funny.
I liked the color by numbers one. Orange. Orangehausen.
So I guess whatever's on Pro Wrestling Tees, it's for the wrestlers. Whatever's on AEW Shop, AEW gets a chunk out of, I guess, right?
Well,
because they don't have these on AEW Shop.
Yeah, they're not directly. Well, I don't know. They might be. Find out. Shop.
I mean,
AEW.
I don't think it's the same company per se.
No, it is 100%. It's Pro Wrestling Tees. It's the same company. Pro Wrestling Tees is the pissant T-shirt company that was originally being referred to. But if you go to it, it's literally the homepage is exactly the same design. The only difference is up here, instead of saying Shop AEW, it just says Pro Wrestling Tees, and then the top color is different. But the layout,
there's not indies on this, is there?
Yeah. And the layout's exactly the same, but the only people that show up on this are AEW roster ones. But here, let's just see, just because we were just on. Orange Cassidy. Let's see what all shows up on Orange Cassidy's.
It's going to be all different shirts. I guarantee it.
We'll find out. Nope, those were all on there because the Double or Nothing shirt showed up on the other one. That one.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah.
I guess it might be maybe if you buy it from AEW Shop.
There are some that aren't, because the one we were talking about, the one drawn that was up on Twitter isn't on here yet.
Right.
And the Orange Cassidy freshly squeezed.gif one that I was showing isn't on here. So there is some difference. But anyways, to answer your question from before about Pro Wrestling Tees, I looked into it. They're similar to Spreadshirt or any of the other Teesprings or whatever. The thing with Pro Wrestling Tees, for you to get a store shop on Pro Wrestling Tees, you have to show that you are in the industry in some way, whether it's that you're a wrestler or a promoter,
you have a
or
business.
And you have to have been established in a certain way. And I looked into it, and like one of it was, to get onto it, you have to show that you have X number of Facebook followers or Twitter followers or so, that you're established. You're not just a guy putting together a podcast. And at the time when I was putting together the merch store, I was like, I don't want to go through all that trouble. So I didn't do it.
Right.
But anyways, that's beside the point. We have reached the end of the show. So instead of boring the crowd with us talking about merch stores and so on and so forth,
merch. We have merch.
We have merch. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/rawandanorderwbu. You can actually find it all in the doobly-doos down below. You can find links to our social medias and links to Tatnus Co. and link to the different places to view this or listen to it. If you joined us for the live stream, thank you. Come back again on Sunday. If you didn't and you're listening to this on just the replay or watching it on replay, thanks again for that as well. Do join us for the live streams because we'd love to have fun on the live stream. So, but you can follow us on social media. You can follow me at Raw and Order WBU, like it says right at the bottom of the screen. That's on pretty much all the social medias. You can follow me there: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. You can follow DA Fabe at
DA Vincent there. And you can favorite wherever you're listening to this up there, so it's easy to find these guys.
Exactly. You can also follow JLB at
JLB420. Real Talk Radio, though, is the brand at Real Talk Radio 8. If you want to hear more of what I have to say about reviews and stuff like that, though, please kick me in the ass and start messaging me. Hey. But yeah, it's still there. Anchor.fm/RTO. And it's all on all your streams, your Apples, your Spotify's, or whatever have you. It is all there indeed. We every Thursday at WTN, Wrestling Talk Now, Wrestling Talk Nation, and that's like at WTN Wrestling technically.
Yeah, the show he cheats on us with. But on that note, we will go ahead and close the book on the Fantasy Booking Institute. Thank you all for listening. We will see you soon.
Favorite us. Yeah.